Okay, we are live. First of all, welcome to Open Mic. Um, Today I have here Ivan. Ivan, the Munyan that I think he's on all the good political shows in Ghana right now. Mostly I have him on um, High Life too. And then we couldn't go live on High Life, so we're going to start going um, on my little platform here at Open Mic. This will be telecasted on High Life on Thursday. We will replay it on High Life on Thursday. From next Thursday going, we will actually be doing it live on High Life Radio. At the moment, Ivan is his life is right here. Okay. Maybe Ivan, I started. Uh,
Hello.
about I think
Okay.
what do you think, Ivan?
Yeah, Metonka.
Yeah, if you wanna introduce yourself real quick, and I start here whilst I work on my video.
Oh, sir, we put there. I think sir, we are follow politics. Be here in Ghana. No, one way or the other, no might have come across Ivan Che Innocent. I'm a youth activist. I'm very passionate about youth involvement in politics, and I think we are using various platforms to enlighten young Ghanaians. So, about for a bit keen interest in the politics that we do in Ghana, because your input are very, very crucial. We cannot just leave the entire political discussion to the aged. Now, say, oh, yeah, the future leaders. So we are waiting to inherit a future, be a free baby. But no, we need to fight to secure today in order to save it, to inherit a future, worthy. And I think that is the cause why I inspire some of us. Joining various political platforms are very often discussions are cause who say they are not from Sebaya narrative in best because over the years so politics I no chrome high and extreme partisan emotions and I also about some kind of a partisan activism. So Ghana no very often in future in our discussion. Nipa no nyinaa yɛ tilted towards your political lineage, your party lines. So at the end of the day, the destination Ghana, you see a power at I'm making sure that Ghana will be better. No, we tend to forget about Ghana. So we are just saying, irrespective of a political party or war, you can belong to whichever political party of choice I will pay. But at the end of the day, they don't forget to say the spirit of nationalism, the patriotism, not there. We can't just throw it away. Yeah, and a bit to be abwa amaya page of mine do baby. And I think that and I had the inspiration behind what we do. And I'm not the only person. Yes, I near my way. Yourself, you're part of it. Because the account here, Ghana form woman on here very often. So we had the economic incentives out there. We are working more as a when you travel, you can just decide to forget about what happens here in Ghana. But just say home is home, however far you go. Is the reason why the likes of you, Kevin Taylor, and several other people on various platforms on daily basis. A month for a boom. And just a time will be, and I will be an MPO, or when I'm America now, here rules are one so, or here hospital, healthcare, or here say, when you accident, if you home now, for phone now, for within a short while, somebody will come to your aid. That's a near my way, near Kumasi to Accra Road, or that was since before time, they see up to now. You do our carriage road crying to me, and every blessed day, Nipa also. Yesterday, accident, bus, and tanker kunya accident, ama amunumwa Nipa 9, Kumase, your friend is saying, your friend be or Bretima, or Suhum side or baby. It's yeah, dear shame crying. But how often I want to say more better, yes, accident is yes, and I have an accident, yes, you baby. But you see, the reckless pace at which sometimes you could feel say we could have done something to stop this. Say yeah. So I think say why several other people on various platforms just to ensure say average Ghanaian over the years parts in the politics in the who say tribalism, regionalism, that kind of family ties and association we are just parts in the same and issue based at the end of the day. You should be able to have the courage to confront Kweku and tell him, say, hey, I voted for you, but this is not the nonsense I bargained for. So at the end of the day, they can correct the mistakes and we all move on.
That's very true. But even people are almost free Ghana also. The so-called first world countries in the crown. Once you still have family in Ghana, and once you deal with people in Ghana, it's still going to affect you if things are not going on well.
Oh, sure. Because now the Bank of Ghana will release the Bible. It's already remittances and you're far away, and I think then it take a higher chunk. Remittances and free. It's Ghanaians abroad. Families are among for free. We are one person that could be maybe to say UK and America. You automatically become a Busianu Koko. People don't care whether you are sick or well. People don't care whether you are depressed. People don't care whether you are able to make how many hours of a phone and one of our American idea. They don't even care about your well-being.
So we got your crowd.
Good. And Sigano, so what the man on endorse one. Thank you, crowd. Yes, so that sense of entitlement, but you see, why we need how we take and one make $1 in America, and this a fear will be some bajono, and sometimes it's quite frustrating. Say you know more to kind. Fortunately, OBSC and Ukuru now now we enjoy all the incentive, the economic opportunities, and but still. They turn home, and because of this tribalism and that kind of way, they still support some of these things because Bisana, every free higher day, you call a party near Sunday Mano, every American two coin copisca, and qua a copisca by a 2 coin cusia dear. The most important thing, Africa, I think that Africa need a problem, especially Ghana. Very often, Ghana need 2 coin co school, but Nigeria for Sadia no, the Omoya one dear papa, and I am very sure that you are very much aware of this.
Oh, yeah. And the most painful thing is that the first Ghanaians that actually came to America came for school.
Okay.
Nkrumah was one of them.
Yes.
That came to school. There's a town in North Carolina. I'm from Greensboro.
Okay.
Ghana for almost Ghana for buy channel. Buy from up to the 80s. They're all very well educated, especially in the university, colleges, and North Carolina. One lecturers, VCs, and all of a sudden, I think she said, "It's in a mama for 2 coins." And said, "Well, I school career or Ghana, but or share what he or she is making."
Yes.
Now compared to me, compatriot on in that class.
Yes.
The only difference is American.
America.
Now how they are making. You know what? I was even better than him.
Yeah. That is how that is how when metric I assess life, but it's not like that. Life, the most important thing is life self-development. You should be able to develop yourself.
But see, back in the day, Ghanaians that went to college, we college of education, we polytechnic. Now we university. America back in the 70s and the 80s.
Okay.
Nothing was dragging them to leave the country.
Yes.
Nothing. I remember my dad, my papa catch him say, "Now you have French or Ghana, or college level now."
Okay.
During vacation, Legon, Nike, and US especially. You have a choice to go to either Belgium, France, or Ivory Coast to go and
experience,
for free.
Yes, for free.
Can you imagine? Say about 60% of Ghanaians rather go to Cote d'Ivoire.
because it's so close, they can get
It's so
back.
close home, especially among free DNA, Western region. They just drive there and just drive back.
Yes.
Because nothing was pulling them out of the country.
Yes.
We are Juma. We don't be some paying for no many years. It's sake of for no political class. If you ask them, say, did they struggle to get work? Obeka was only go third year, second year, and only on the first job.
Yeah.
You know,
it's sad.
But
sad.
now we've totally destroyed the economy of Ghana.
Yeah.
Even somebody who is working and we have so many examples, and we meet them every day.
Yes.
Somebody who was like the level of education, and your Juma na koyo Ghana, we jai Juma Walmart because or your calculations now. It makes more sense to him.
Yes. So you see, the economic hardship not drive a lot of people to forgo their potential and as for them because when blacks in the US not be able to go to school, the genes are they say the blacks are superior race, but unfortunately, because go into the field of your friend is saying America Mutu, US. Look at the black race. Yeah, but all the big guys. You see, and several other areas, your genes now are very superior. But unfortunately, back here, greed is very superior. So, Obia per se or no, in charge, take everything to himself so that he can enslave the rest. That is the difference between an Abrofono. Abrofono is seeking to empower everybody, provide the necessary economic incentive. We are black, we are Hispanic, we are Oba, Omotawa, Umeriano, Obana, Omotawa. They will all live in comfort. By the end of the day, one person wants to amass everything to himself so that every day be a una, yes, a master boss, honorable. So forever, no, you are impoverished. That is the concept of power in Africa. It's so terrible.
It's very sad. It's very, very sad. But
and the things that it's all about money because of said we can lecturer or University of Ghana child and not the OJ. Now say or papa from your friend say anywhere in the US, UK now his car or make here. Or free say he's better off, and you can't blame such a person. You understand? Because you lower the standards. So here say so it's so sad.
Yeah, there was this guy from Holland, Netherlands, and Netherlands and Denmark, and all make a comparison about the Dutch passport against PhD in Ghana. Which that conversation wouldn't have been had anywhere in the world, but because he had the economy,
exactly,
that was something that people were actually talking about, including professors.
Yes, because when I saw that argument, I was very pissed because you see that was a non-starter. It was a non-starter because education is the best thing you can ever have. So I keep telling people if you don't get it, don't worry. Maybe I your fault. Try to give it to your kids, give it to your children, let them have it. But that is the best thing But your concept and they say, okay, school and when you're Juma, we think the whole concept of education is about job, getting job. It's a way now daily. No. It's for self-development. You are able to navigate the storms of life in a way or perspective.
It's basically for problem solving.
Yes, exactly. But
formal education is to help you. So all this huge, confusing math and physics formulas, it's not for you to invent a new plane.
No.
It's for you to be able if you can do that.
Yes.
If you approach any problem, it's not big for you.
You can solve it. Because over US, some of the big tech guys now are more breaking through. Most of them drop out of university because when they go to a certain level, he realized that the knowledge I need to do this, I now have it. But we are Snowden. So now I analyst for your friend say NASA. He was also working for your friend say CIA. The guy was a dropout, but he was an analyst. Yet time no to Hawaii at some point. It's who said supervision here low now shall see a leaky documents and another problem. These are people who drop out of college, and there are some examples. I bet me I can. So it's sad.
But the fundamental thing about all these people, they say, almost all of them the Zuckerbergs and Elon Musk, and all of them, almost all of them have had a very wealthy family.
Yes.
So money wasn't a problem. So ubetimi atenase adwen and be innovative.
It's all that you
what
need.
you're going to eat tomorrow.
Yes.
So
it's not about food. Just sit down, think of something. You have the money, everything to do whatever that you want to do.
Shouldn't be an issue. And that whoever planted that discord in West Africa especially, however how innovative we are as a people, still stuck in colonialism mentality.
It's sad though, but I think
Nkrumah warned us about it a long time ago.
Yes.
So how kind of book we are neo-colonial?
Yes.
If you read that book, he was warning us about what
ahead of time. Yes. But you see, I think that sometimes my approach to life and I don't always want to blame people. You see, it's a fact. Say Abrofono by colonize here. It's true. Say almost a for slavery at the change. But today I had when we and then I'm tell you, so I have
exactly.
Look at Libya. People pass through this deadly desert. So the Mediterranean Sea. For what? The same thing. Just to sell ourselves to slavery because if you yet. So instead of blaming and say there are other countries that almost suffered the same colonial. US was a victim, Singapore was a victim.
I mean, we are having this discussion about languages.
Yes, good.
Your
language in
and I'm saying no. The British English is not their language. English was as a result of them being colonized by the Romans.
By the UK, yes.
Well, Romans, they were people of Celtic origin.
Yes.
It was the Latins. The Romans colonized them for several hundreds of years.
Yes.
And changed their language.
Yes.
Okay, let's stop all this English you're speaking and trace back to.
Yes.
We've already got the gift of English that everybody
can
at least
that's even give us a competitive edge.
Exactly.
Because I was doing a master program in China. Some of my mates, Brofono, sometimes they'll tell you, say, teach me I'll teach you Chinese, you teach me English. China, English, I bet one of the most sought for way every student in China. I am begging for them because for you to be able to navigate through this world, you should be able to speak English. Exactly. French is popular, but you can't compare it to English.
It's not the language of business. The language of business right now is English.
It's English.
For all the unfortunate things that these British did to us, gift of English was given to us.
Yes.
My nephews and nieces in Ghana.
Yeah.
Unlike us, almost Akrabia TV Cabro. And that's
yes. Elsewhere, you need to struggle, pay extra tuition to get it. And I think that conversation now, I had a conversation with a friend in Ghana who is a professor. There was a time we were having a debate about this impact of colonialism. So when he spoke about language, then I told him that pause there. For this, there is no basis because you see, so English, I inherited even the word English. They imported it to US. America from Cabrofo, Canada from Cabrofo, America at the core, your friends say UK for at the core, Australia from Cabrofo, and your way for at the core at the back.
Even let's talk about our peer Singapore.
Yes. You see, but you have to see it as an incentive and use it to grow. America, other side of America, all of them speak Spanish because they were colonized at some point by the Spanish. You understand? Mexico, Colombia, Guatemala, they speak Spanish fluent, even part of America. California side,
Texas, New Mexico,
exactly.
Even here, right in the middle of America. So, and I'm new doing Komokra because like some Mexicans that were working for us.
Yeah.
I asked some Mexican. one of the I know me. Now I'm beside say, Spanish, even uneducated people. And I'm beside say, but before the Spaniards came to Mexico, the Aztecs were already there. So you already have some kind of language. Does anybody speak it? Or say no?
No, you can't find it anywhere.
No. They don't find people to speak with.
To speak it.
But everybody speaks Spanish, and they see it as the greatest gift. Although all the atrocities that were visited on them, what the Spanish left was a single language.
The language. Yeah, because it gives you a sense of inclusion. You belong to a particular community. You travel to UK when you're anywhere, easy to communicate. Those things, it's so easy.
I don't know. Normally, only P-speaking people will make that argument. Okay, pause. Let's say it's Ochina. Yes, see. Okay, we're going to use a local language. But me, I am a chance in the same Injusi language. I choose Gonja.
Yes.
Let's all learn Gonja.
Yes.
The same problems you are telling me that English is giving us is the same problem that Gonja is going to give non-Gonja speaking.
Yes. And even if you do research, you realize that most of the country, now say America adopted language from your friends the UK. America is far successful, far advanced, far powerful
than the UK right now.
And UK. Even Canada today, if you look at their economic conditions in Singapore, it's far better than UK today.
Australia. They're all even now better than the
Yeah, so the argument about will be like there are countries, and now South Korea, they decided say they will use their own language in the Nasafo. But one of the friends, America in Nasafo, South Korea for the Samsung phone in Nasafo. Opa, a more cheap language for their sample everything is English.
But South Korea, like China, Japan, South Korea, and South Korea, they have been writing their language centuries ago.
Yes.
So,
but yet still, they have local sources. Every college student you meet in Seoul, South Korea,
is able to
speak English because our travel destination is the US.
And Obaha, like about 20% of all the students here are Chinese.
Yes,
the Japanese did it in the 70s. Almost as a South before they grew up. Nkrumah already saw it. He sent a lot of students here, Cuba, Russia, and England, and all over the places.
Oh yes, now Russia, even China per se. And now also China, Huawei, Amani all the big professors behind this innovative drive now for China were sponsored to come and stay in America. The big
MIT phone call.
Yes.
MIT phone call.
Yes, and India is the same thing. So I think that greedness, bro. It's not about language. Yes, colonialism. Yes, you can talk about it because at that time, I struggle for survival. Because during the gathering and the hunting days, when I'm here, that was what was happening here. The pre-civilization stage, So it's I don't know who said, wow, when you're teaching or young, you take advantage. So nobody, when you're in Tema, that's your problem. Yes. So I think that I don't blame those things. I happy now we going forward. What can we do? We have the potential. We have the youth population. What can we do to leverage? But we are still stuck. Hold our arms, always begging for people. Oh, come on. It's so sick.
Yeah. I mean, I think this has been a good conversation to start with, to transition us to our first conversation. Number one problem in Ghana, I believe, because I think I'm more of an environmentalist than anything else.
Yeah,
is Galamsey. Ivan, what's going on right now?
Galamsey situation is very sickening. But you see, when you listen and monitor the airwaves, Ghana, no, you better point to be said, depending on where one stands across the political divide, and then motivating the direction of the conversation or the narrative. So very often, or NDC near said Osikano, or MPP near said Osikano. But I'm happy saying that you have a lot of middle people who have joined the fray, or Munina try to raise awareness on the need and stop Galamsey. Galamsey has been with us for a very long time. And I think that the last time we have a conversation, we talked about this. But about bedroom a stage, about social cancer, deep into the fabrics of our society, and in the consequence. Now, no, me team because research over be more findings. I know more talking about man for more that dialysis, so man for more kidney disease in as a form. Who trace here? These are people who once at some point in time were living in this mining, you find the same areas and then as a form. So as said, it's having a significant impact on the health conditions of the people of this country. In the Abra, Akosra, I'll zoom a crisis space, President Akufo-Addo made it clear to us, or the presidency to line also, just to help us fight corruption, to fight galamsey. So when the president makes such a profound statement, as an ordinary citizen, you have no other option than to believe that indeed the person is really committed. But a turn out to a point, and you come to the realization, say, the very campaigns are Omugu bush, Omu destroy forests, are not just ordinary people. They are people within government, the top echelons of power, people who wield authority and these are the very people involved. And there have been a paper trail. Investigations about Professor from Watson tape subsequent investigations, names were mentioned, sites were identified. Conversations were recorded. Then as a forum, expecting say, my catcher said in a way or Maya, you can't show weakness and you can't show mercy as a country. At our individual level, I can show you mercy. Is the reason why America will be they will give you the needle. I just want to head, but if they don't do that, it will create a certain sense of impunity that people will continue to do that. So when you give the person needle, what's in China? Hey, state, there is no way the state will show you mercy in case you are to be. But but one needle. Oh, young Panchan, Christopher. The next time Texas, when no be for be, what Kuno. Oh, young farmer. So whenever there will be chaos all over. So a state cannot be weak. You cannot show mercy. Because human nature,
The state cannot have feelings.
Yes. Human nature, we are very dangerous and very unpredictable.
Oh, yeah.
The incentives are evil. As a state, you take it away. But tell them, man, Charlie, ask you, there are punitive consequences out there if you mess up. So you'll be guided. It is a way back, enough evidence are bound. I said, to start with, the by investigation, at least these individuals, preliminary stage of investigation, you have to authenticate the ababon, and answer, you dispel now there is this collusion here try to shield these individuals because they are part of government, because at the end of the day that particular and it's the reason why today you see a lot of people out there doing galamsey. Big men in government. I don't need to mention names, you know a lot of them. Again, now no Fourth Republic, Fourth Estate, the investigation, but answer na ebebano. This is on my galamsey no deal and I start here and my premise. Maybe I started free the impact health and then as for now your Parliament of Ghana, Aquatanase. Yakwaya legislative instrument LI 2462. The actually say a free neko president or Hong Kong said or show a nimna or pewasema nasa because they said it's based on discretion. So me in P no mechanism, you understand. President was sole discretion to give concession in a forest reserve for individuals. Yes. And you say they are not parliamentarians, I say NDC and MPP numbers in your pet. So this time there, this is the safest parliament. I can sit here and tell you, say, under the Fourth Republic, this is the most inefficient parliament in our history. A room full of noise makers and attention grabbers. It's all that you know, noise makers and attention grabbers. What they are supposed to do, they just do it on radio now, they don't do. Or for Parliament to sit there for this dangerous ally, go through the house. Amateur Speaker of Parliament, it will not crowd sign your NDC, ni sign some of these things, you are there to stop it. He sat there and they all allowed this ally to mature. President Enyaho Kwan say, hey, men I yama me kwan. They say me man for forest reserve mine. And last year, on my companies, Marco 10, Aquenya Momubu forest. Say they should
forest reserves.
Forest reserves. Forest reserves. For me no kasa we are for state. The friend is saying on my website. You see a lot of the publications. For omo amanfo wom and yes will be say and yes speculation and yes we are mining commission all the necessary officially. These 10 companies are in a foreign reserve. I'll move to Galamsey and I'll call it mining or whatever. When over the years, and because of biodiversity, you have say wildlife conservation in that kind of way, from Kwame Nkrumah Pennsylvania, and your forest is a no-go area. Yeah, cut it down timber and as a fork, and you never be a forest. It is and penny for to say, oh, president was so discretion to give people concession to go into forest to mine. I just say, yeah, you red tape then we are pushing people. And Nipa 10 or the more movie, and then Nipa 35 apply president to Guswa in the coming days, or Bema or more, Panyama Wako. And
so, what's the point of reserving the forest if you're just going to let everybody?
Exactly. So, Makacho says sometimes a trainer at Ergin Magana, no, sometimes a grown man with kids' brain, no. Sometimes a wickedness or whatever it is, me I can't comprehend because these are dangerous things. I mean, no, we wouldn't do it. Now people might assume say we are kids. We will not do these things. But Yama, the right to go into the forest and mine. And Yama, another 35 or more apply or mining where our website in the coming days. And these people are Yama. We now more air mine or forest, and yamio and enyo, and it's not a lecturer, an ordinary person on a number. People within the MPP or more campaigns. And Minia, a buyer on one say the whole Ashanti regional mayor. Or the company. Yamano, Aquenya say, Uncle Forest, na Uncle mining, our forest reserve. I'm find some pine.
Oh, some pine minimum Nepal.
Good.
Yes.
On a Kumasi Mayo and Kumasi Crew Nina, no, Ashanti region, Galam say, one of the crisis or more facing or two.
I think or more eastern region are the regions that have been hit the most.
Yes, and the western region.
And every river that passes through western, eastern, and Ashanti region is brown right now.
Oh yeah. These are individuals, and there is this guy going to parliament. He's the parliamentary candidate for the MPP. Our new jobbing. He has a company that is doing prospecting. Then as for our forest reserve, and this guy, one person, he has about 3 companies. And he is connected to other 16 companies seeking to go into the forest. One person. And there are families there is this family. Let me see if I can get a name. There is a family. Is it something family? There are people are more powerful position, and yet any ordinary person or chama won't to mean as a forum. So I know the day we are president. Na Ghana for you know them. Yes, Galamsey, because Galamsey, because nobody is monitoring what is happening in the bush. We are unable to differentiate who is doing what and who is doing what. The same people import the Chinese. No more back. Because prior to 2016, na Galamsey no koso okroma no. Low key. Some young guys baby equipment in as phone because of the influx of these Chinese, who's a China for bad, you know how dangerous and greedy these people are.
Oh yeah.
High equipment, toxic materials, and they are doing this. And it's in a Asha one case in the Baya, one person. Now what did the whole of Western region, Ashanti region, and that's how powerful and our law, no, a foreigner cannot have access to concession unless Obina Betty at Diamano. So which means a Ghana in a G and or Diamond. Exactly. So these are powerful people, Omoya Galamsey, no, and other party executives. So Egum, because there was a time President Akufo-Addo said enough of the Galamsey was stop it. And now John Boadu tape no Babon Tia or say party here Sikantino or Monfama party way. You see, yeah, kind of parties you Becca said now the MPP from Kwane to Debbie Galamsey because I'm say leadership not failing. And known people on the score of the MPP, yeah, who are mono, or say NDC ni bishe baby to a untuminka. And these people will be motivated because Yentimin Tina of videos on Cassa, NDC for to Galamsey, NDC for do now to Galamsey. But for NDC ni at this time to near the courage of to Galamsey, no, well, who's a uncrow for a yebi? One year. So they are motivated, and there are people or we are software. These young guys here who are one man church or show cars and as well. Galamsey no when you too. They are most of them are Galamsey.
Oh, I think I overheard one
yes
on TV yesterday.
Yes.
Insinuating to Galamsey.
Oh yes, it's true. It's true. They are on record. And journalism, I can say for now, sometimes investigation be about so I'm
I was so surprised.
Exactly. So you see, when people close to power are involved to this level, because I want to say NBC be na journalists be power bang and a moral conviction bang a war to be able to go after these people. That is what the president cannot lay hands on at this time. The moral, your friends saying, courage to confront this problem in the face. Because I don't know more, you know, you say I don't know the Sikebra party, no, because it is on record saying Ghana or mine, no, we can't go out there to borrow anymore. Because your boy Sika as you did 10 years in your dear no, and I come. So if you get out there to go and borrow, nobody will look you in the face. It's the reason why for the past we yet I just say be an IMF and other petty loans be there, and I say yeah, call commercial market say you could raise bond that no, we are not so these Galamsey we're in a best source of money among to finance party, then as a forum among for Benyasikadia.
So at the moment we've put party over the country.
Exactly.
So people are more committed to their parties than to the country itself. Parties were supposed to be group of people that are just made ready to serve the country when their time is up.
Yes, parties that are supposed to be a vehicle, a driver to capture political power, to go to the seat and do the right thing. A by instrumenta, they cause carnage, an instrumenta, they inflict terror on ourselves, an instrument of greed.
What you're saying is that Parliament has given the president.
Yes.
Me, in my lifetime, this is the most careless.
Careless, yeah, very way. That's the most useless
we have right now, or no, at his time.
Yes.
And I'm saying, you know what? Let's confer this power to him.
Or onto him. Yeah. When you know the president is a very dangerous person, what the to me manner, he doesn't do
really dangerous. No. Oh, no, as long as he thinks he can navigate the problem legally, no, he doesn't care whether it's going to bring distraction or not. As long as a kokota or a single chance so be the bim.
Yes.
That is more important to him than anything else. And I think if especially
I think I'll put more of the blame on the doorstep of the opposition right now. Because at least if you didn't even have the number, you should have made noise.
Yes.
About voting, the noise you make for everybody to support you, then you deal with for demonstration.
Yes.
When people are being given the power to enter none other place than a reserve forest.
Reserve.
The reason why we reserve places like that is the long list.
Yes. Yes.
Diversity.
Yes.
The biology of that, the ecosystem of that leaving some resources for our future generation to actually inherit. They say Ghana Oku Raya Forest in Ghana, almost all of them are almost empty of any kind of wildlife because we've exhausted them just by like when it came to ivory. To say Oko Memne Ahafwa. Growing up, growing up, I'm just talking about the 90s and the early 2000s.
Okay.
Every weekend we are over here or soon be Akosenko Fufu ahead of the nowadays you don't hear of things like that again because people killed off all these animals. Kakra ya reserve ya mrabo ho kwan ebo ho ban o say yeah the command the most careless president we've ever had.
Yes. The power
Allow people
to
go into. You're basically telling this president that allow people to. Me, I sure said before you even gave him the power, he had people ready. He was going to.
Oh yes, and that is why I keep telling people, say this parliament, I don't know. That our young people are more energy. They try to do their best, but putting together, it appears to be the most disappointing, the most ineffective, and the most useless parliament. And they are assuming and yet President Ayaman access to enter forest reserve. Say, had 2016, 2020, you have elections now. Weekend now, you had or shy into voting day, no. Jen Mensa, finance acquire so sha lolobi and a powerful from your friends say constituency num. Ama omo representative I call parliament. Speaker of parliament. This is the greatest democratic injustice and as a democratic sin you can ever commit in a democracy. So a group of people will not have a representation in parliament. Just parliament has sitting there for almost 4 good years. They don't care. It's business as usual. Because I'm told parliamentary business, at the cash back.
Oh yeah. If you read I got the book last week from Amazon and I started reading it. One of the parliamentarians, actually his name was mentioned, Ofrikumasiobe. He was the one narrating, said the government will bring money from Jubilee House. They bring actual money from Jubilee House to committees for them to even sit down and make a decision. And if the president wants the decision to be made, and I said, or appointing ministers, they will bring money. The parliamentarians will be waiting.
Yeah, for the money.
For the money to come so that they'll go and approve. That's why these people will make a list and give us all the reasons why this particular person is not supposed to be minister. And by the end of the night,
they will approve him. Yes.
Because they've been paid.
Yes.
Bribery and corruption right in front of us, and the parliamentarian is actually narrating this to somebody who is writing a book to write it.
Yes. Yes. It's so sad.
Like, so why do we even have a parliament? And day in, day out, you're increasing the number of parliamentarians for effectively nothing.
And it's so disappointing that we, the young ones, are the ones that it should be the other way around, where these experienced politicians sit and they educate us. We listen so that at least growing up, to shaping our perspective. So in the future, when we inherit their state, we will be guided by their mistakes in the past and we will do things better. But today, and we are reviewing the follies of these institutions. Nema, they shouldn't have done. Nema, MYN, because you're monetizing the entire political landscape. It is about money, leadership. We think once parliament. To them, they think it is at the level of self-actualization. And yet duty are committed to people. That is why when you are a young person and you are making a political contribution, somebody will tell you, I don't need to go and build an estate before I can express my opinion on issues of politics. To be a leader, I don't need to own the whole of East Legon, because there are people over America, there are billionaires, but there are some, even their own estate companies, they don't even have what it takes to manage them. Among for estate managers, among for Obi Nisika Edan account, and they have managers or manage for them. So Obian the ultimate at any point in time. But I'm saying and there are things there. That's okay. Yeah, no. Especially so being gray hair with things a prerequisite to be a leader and as a penny. Your decisions, actions are unquestionable. You can. That person is absolute. That is it. And when they assume that power now, or the certain unfettered authority be canon. So the open order, yeah. And unfortunately for we the masses, majority of our people are so gullible. And last time I had a conversation with somebody, and I told someone, say, people blame democracy. Democracy has done nothing to us. To me, democracy is the best system of government. But the democracy is not for fools. So if you are not wise and you adopt it, you will struggle with it. It's the reason why the whole of Africa, we are struggling with democracy. But in UK, America, and other countries, the dividends that come with democracy, they are enjoying it. You understand? Because the free market, the free economy, those kind of stuff, And then if you look China, crowd say, oh yeah, socialism, or the communism hand, and then the open market, more pure capitalism. You understand? So we don't even know where we are going. It's like my bedroom and them so so politicians or more 90% have their family living either US or UK. And their decisions are making on daily basis, bind the people here. Or area, now we'll plane ticket. Now I'll throw letter, not chief of staff assigned about to when the president is going to UK for medical way. Now, medical infrastructure, no me provider and papa. It is your duty, your responsibility, because American president cannot wake up and say, me go see special care or UK. Unless the care you need, cannot be delivered within your jurisdiction. And no as to why our president, not that care, won't mean other country. But to us, a norm. Oh, President, you to troll letter, carry troll letter near the Babon thing, informing citizens why the president is going. He's going for a medical checkup somewhere in the US. When he's supposed to,
There's a new phenomenon going out here in the US. And I'm privy to that because I work in that industry. They are building more ultra-modern than what they have right now, hospitals.
Yes.
To cater for people like that. Okay. I'm a friend of health tourism. Young for your ministers, your president, or more West Africa now, or more area. This is about US. About they are paying these hospitals so much money, say they are now building an extra place for them.
Yeah.
This is it, oh yeah, Africa, brah.
Yeah.
And they are feeding them with so much money. If you look at how much money these back then called UK, the US and the UK. Baumia, I think UK is place of those can build clinics. Those money can actually, the health checkup for a year can actually build a clinic.
Yes.
And because of they have put so much, because of the distraction of your health system, they themselves don't trust
the health system.
Because
Yeah.
Their hospitals, I think there was one in time that was built about it says 10 years ago.
And currently there been a facility now Mahama see Ashanti region friend Afari military hospital. The place is like a medical village. Ultra-modern, stocked with the state-of-the-art health defense equipment. I can't with them. Obiani what to be sorry, I can say. I don't know because Sabai no besi no crown a one penna sama. Mahama and Fanny bottom sick and see or the Ghana for sick and I mean, company for Chrome. Just said, oh, Africa.
I think one thing Mahama doesn't get a pat on the shoulder for is health infrastructure.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. He actually did a lot.
He put a lot into that.
Yes.
One year when it came to our health infrastructure. And I think that's one thing most Ghanaians regret for kicking him out.
Oh yeah.
And COVID also reminded us big time
the significance of those
things that he was doing. Look at that rich hospital. It matches all the hospitals we do.
Yes. The Legon Hospital, the bank, there is this bank hospital, Maritime. You see, these are top-notch, world-class health facilities. But ask yourself, in the last 8 years, there is none.
There's none. You know what? I'm not going to build anything new, but I'm going to make sure these ones are well taken care of. And at least wherever Mahama got to, we're going to upgrade them past that.
Yes.
So we have that mentality. You know, as a president, you don't have to come and start building new things.
No.
Even reviving old things, you know.
That would be enough. Because with him, Ashanti region, then is where the money sometimes when I see a Akufo-Addo, I don't know. Because you see, this is a hospital, Mahama Nekusi, Wakusia si, or baby a winner will vote. So if you complete this hospital, it is people who vote for you who are going to enjoy. So
but he was happy to build the airport that Mahama had started. He was completely happy to do that. Well, all those people are saying he didn't actually finish building it.
That is why from day one, I've made it clear to people, say, in terms of comparison, it will be so unfair and very hypocritical to pick Akufo-Addo government and compare it to what Mahama did.
No.
And I think yes,
so
Ghana
far,
have come to this realization now.
So far, I don't see any. I mean, most of us are around this age are Fourth Republic people. I don't see any president or any government in the Fourth Republic Akufo-Addo can compare.
Oh no. Oh no, dear, he's the most terrible, not just terrible, reckless.
And he has totally reversed all the achievements that we were reversing in. And now, mostly the government is not corrupt. It's just through rumors.
Yeah.
Oh, when we don't see any physical things to actually prove. But this one, you can see every river in the country has turned brown.
Yes.
So, if you're driving past a river, it's clear for you.
It's sad.
It's not the turbidity of the water that's the problem. The amount of chemicals that they pour into
our soil.
So, don't mind. They shouldn't mind near a river. They've forgotten that the major source of water for us Ghanaians are underground water.
Yeah.
And your rivers, no.
Yes.
Underground water. And most of the boreholes, the wells, most of our water is from
Freeba.
And we are pouring these chemicals because you say oil crowd is a problem. EPA will be on your doorstep. It Ugin said that I'm saying because you have a well in your house. You're a joke.
That is it.
And you see these chemicals.
The sad aspect of it is NDC and MPP, the Bayer politics. There are people we regard them as the conscience of the society, the moral whatever of the society. And then I saw from penny put me swam who come. I quite to stop galamsey. This version of African religion, is so nauseating and so nonsensical to the extent that, sometimes they present God to look like a very stupid old man. God no crying him the oil. How can you tell me that there are humans that omutu galamsey? Galamsey by phone to galamsey, or bonsamin to galamsey, and I remember journalists are doing investigation, bringing out names. They are identifying people within government, high-profile individuals. What grounds are they are there? Are these people sometimes, they enjoy the full protection of the military guys? They protect them. It's just a matter of calling the president, rebuking him, telling him that president is fault. He's not privy to a lot of stuff happen around him because he's just an individual. He based on briefings and then as for you can be misled a whole lot of stuff. But the you are ears on the ground. What stop you from going to the president and telling him say that be way there but rather they will go to the bush to go and sing Yenara assassinate her. So sometimes
I think I saw a video like that.
Yes.
A group of pastors and prophets went to some galamsey site and they were there praying, and included a very high profile priest and prophets and so-called pastors.
Yeah.
And I didn't say for what? Like, are you trying to reverse whatever has happened? Like, what are you doing? And if you disagree with the atheists of how problematic religion is, these pastors are always proving the atheists right.
Yeah.
So religion has done nothing positive. And maybe in Europe they did, because European civilization was basically Christian.
Oh yeah, driven by religion.
And if you go to the Arab nation, Islam actually built countries. But over Africa, whatever we already had, these religions came in and destroyed them.
Yes. But what I keep telling people is that I don't have a single issue with religion. Mm-hmm. And I am part of a school of thought that always argues that religion is one of the best things that happen to humanity. Because the peace that we enjoy, we are in a very turbulent, violent world, but still we have space to breathe in as for religion. Secure wealth stability. Or the auto and you hit a time, they're not a custom. Never be a resident. But you see, when you look at it from a very larger perspective, say a concept, understanding, and a skilled. For instance, come to Africa. Majority of people I see preaching are uneducated. So just imagine an illiterate holding a philosophical book called Bible, and that illiterate is putting her understanding on the Bible in the quest to preach or sell a certain Christ to an individual. So in the course of transmitting, or not putting interpretation at the actual and all can. So there was a time I went somewhere and somebody says, Obi Awaya tattoo, Uncle Heaven. Let me see, look at this nonsense. How can any normal educated person say somewhere and says, tattoo, Uncle Heaven? Do you know why people do that? Do you know why people do tattoo? So you see, so religion is not a problem. Interpretation, Bible, no. And then making the business. There are those who are using Jesus as a cream, almost sell it to make money. There are those who are more put to a more or more twisted way. So if you go to America, for instance, example that we make Donald Trump, who knows he's a Christian of good standing in the White House. Every month, I think that every Wednesday, they are in the first Wednesday of every week. Now, or prayer way our White House. Or when a prayer tower, I do the White House now who is that they pray a lot. Joe Biden is a Catholic. And a lot of them, American president, you can serialize their history. And as for American Ankasa was built on the foundation of Christianity. Then as for most of them, that is why you saw president in most of the dinner now saw from penny for and as for neko, but they don't front it. The when the problem comes, it is not about God, it is about us having the wisdom, the knowledge, and the courage to solve the problem. So yana yaya ma de na ya tan yo. And yet religion in the whole no na di but Africa, your weakness, because you see, anytime you make us by before you no bia no, na life no will give you up. There are certain things he's not getting it right. Instead of him to press forward and make sure said that mistake, the easiest thing to do is to blame somebody else. So okasa by before, then you buy comfort for your soul. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So he gets nothing. So I know the day when he accepts it before then he buys comfort for himself. So I know the day whatever he does, if he's not successful, he cannot blame himself, but rather blame a certain devil. That is the African concept.
He's not responsible for
yes.
Exactly.
So African religion, we are not bold enough, but Bronino will make sure that they will go extra mile to investigate to see to the end of the problem. Yes, the best by before. Sana actual trauma they be seen this very stupid concept of religion, Christianity, and uneducated idiot be a Bible and no original say or preaching Jesus and as for now or no said the city as no they are so. But there are genuine ones who are really doing well. But not the day the charlatans cover the whole space, so you don't even see who is doing what and who is doing what. And I think that all this education and as for I am looking for a day. The average Ghanaian youth, they are more intelligent, more enlightened. Trust me. Many of these churches as for a begu because now one of the religious countries now was as UK. Every Sunday they used to go to church, Papa, until Hitler got to them. Or making sure say war came close to their doors, and almost say God never came out to save them. And they no go UK Sunday, born on mother. That is why all the stadium every Sunday, go back to the past. They used to go to church a lot. So now we take responsibility. I think we will be able to navigate the storm very well.
So I was listening to both parties gearing up for the elections, and I was trying to see the Omadrin Efa Galamsino, and it looks as you said no person of importance from any of those parties are saying something that every Ghanaian, every regular Ghanaian thinks that has to be done is to totally ban all sorts of mining, apart from some big concessions. Miners like India, Newmont, and they are guided by some rules and some principles. Stop it all. And that's what I thought any one of them would say. So we should just, the first 2 years or 3 years, they were just going to put a stop to everything to make sure that most of these rivers have been revived. They're going to publish turbidity and chemical substance. They are all at a level. I think that we can open up some kind of mining. By that time you have enough security on the ground or enough protection on the ground to make sure that what has happened over the past 6 years is not going to happen again. But if you listen to them, and there's some Generica said, Galanto Vijaya, the next person was another spokesperson. Generica said, oh yeah, but we're just going to make opening up, but it's going to be done responsibly. MP before now they've thrown all cautions to the air and said, you know what, I'm saying it's going to be done responsibly. I don't know how this is going to be done responsibly if we haven't been able to do it. Although the government had all the backing from Ghanaians, almost 100% backing to stop this. Is there any sort of significant voting bloc coming from these Galamsey people? And I said, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think you see that what I keep telling people is Galamsey, at that low key level over the years, now I'm for your boss and as a for no. Not a source of livelihood for a lot of people. Obi oha na ne papa aye Galamsey or two Galamsey, and then no nyina they provided for the family. And in the banner so I inherited the same thing. And if you go to the hinterland, you understand some of these things better. So to them, a way of life, a livelihood, make it or teacher in the classroom, a salary, no, or no, so no, that is a way. And Oko villages or around enclaves where people who are there understand this thing better. And we are government now open we Galamsey if you are it cannot be a knee-jerk reaction. It must be a deep-seated conscious effort. A policy guided. You answer with stakeholders. You identify all the problems. So by the time I will be Galamsey telling people, say, hey, young guys, don't go to the bush, don't do Galamsey, no. Then we are providing an alternative livelihood. Because a young man now want me and Galamsey na okotu kakra na odididi. All of a sudden, if you wake up a day and tell him to stop Galamsey, unstop Galamsey no go. It's not possible. Man will die, do everything to survive, to fend for honor himself and the family. So policy-wise, they should have thought about raising a certain economic incentives in these areas. So by getting these people off Galamsey, now we introduce you to something equally, then Sabakwana, So you see, say the transition will be a bit rocky, but it will be successful because nobody needs after all. It's a mini choice, a major way, way. But where you wake up a day, pang, because people are talking about it, and without no policy direction, no. If you tell people to get out of the bush, they will not. Especially what the soldier for bully a lot of them out. Then you replace them with their colleagues. The only difference is that ABR, the Abano party youth organizer, party women organizer. That is the only difference. Just imagine, we was our community now. You will go back and make sure that once you provide for yourself. So there was no blueprint, no policy guideline. You had the toe say so. And political parties, you see, offer ballot in this year, nipa no mugusu to a certain extent, or be a source of financing. Some come from Galamsey. It will interest you to know. Even those independent candidates, a full-time Galamsey campaign, they make a lot of money. It's the reason why they will go and waste money on the ballot, just like that, because they have the money. So a source of waste. So whenever politicians take the stage now, they are not forthcoming with whatever drastic measure they are going to put out there, because they are also thinking about election time. They kind of say now, they anger people now. What will be the other way for me in terms of the vote? So people are just dancing around way. So I have listened to the many manifesto and for I am not convinced. The policy option, and I say the options are for, because I mean who any policy guideline be cried that one substantially, we can even speak to it. But you see, leadership, your job is to solve problems. Galamsey issue where and it's simple if only we are really committed. And I'm coming to explain it to you. When you open up and give concessions to individuals no more banner, if you are one person in the womb, and obenya certificates be actually say or a mining engineer, whatever. About nipa 500 no more kind of will be anywhere or anything know about mining. And then when you give them the concession, no move the land and so on. The major focus, sikana was assassino. So whatever it takes to get there and get the money is what the focus is. They don't care whether environmental degradation, whatever, they don't care. So, and into the whole just large scale degradation, environmental destruction, so as government that we are serious, the best thing you do is say you put a stop to almost all mining activities across the country, even including Anglo Gold Wakano. Charlie, it is about time we renegotiate terms of agreement with these companies because Ghana is not benefiting anything. Past governments are negotiating with them, and at the end of the day, how can we give a whole gold concession to a foreign company? Not yes, my royalties. When we know gold near they only pay royalties to us. Whatever they get, they take it away. We can't do that. So we need to come up with a certain mining framework, both legal and our structural way. Started from the top. Into these big companies, we need to have open dialogue with them and renegotiate the terms. Here we are at the minor level. Take Obia concession from them, and henceforth, government should never give a concession to an individual, never. So this is what you're going to do as government. You can set up about 500 state-owned companies. So these companies will be led by individuals who very much experience our mining. And then you give them the capacity to employ young people. Each of these 500 companies, they can employ about 2,000 young people. So these young people are not operating solo. They are operating under the umbrella of a state-owned mining company. Because I'm told that person now you war a tiwa deben mining those who are. So you set up these mining companies, a state-owned, are buying a bit, making sure that people with expertise in for, and behind them you are able to employ a larger number of people. You provide them with the sophisticated equipment, whatever. So Ebasana, they are regulated. Buying is able to monitor the activity, and you'll be in a showroom, but a state-owned company. Individuals I know the day, whatever they get.
They are accountable to somebody in the government.
Yeah, exactly. And I know the day, you did it in such a way, say the controller, you find a way to pay this. I know the day, a very source of employment, a lot of the majority of young people don't you get them job to do. I know the day, and you are able to monitor where they are mining, the processes, the Niamo Muyusu, and then you kind of. So I know the day you see that it's so easy to regulate. At some point in time, that's a Adibi Kobonia, you know, say company number 21. We'll stop all mining activities until further notice. You stop it. You understand? So it's not as if there is no solution, or there is. But
and even if you do that, you can actually form around the same number of companies as the mining companies are for reclamation.
Yes, that is why I said you employ about 2,000 young at any of the company, so you designate a bit to a reclamation because so it's a simple thing we can do. Simple, but you see the willingness is not there.
The problem is that when you do that, all the revenue is going straight into the country government. It's not going into individual
pockets,
and that's a problem for them.
That is us. That is us. We Ghanaians, because Misha Sebekacho say we are very greedy. So the solution is lying bare right in front of us, but nobody is willing to raise a finger to say, "Charlie, this is the best option. Let's go for it." Because so Nina come back to the question of greed. Nobody is willing. Because don't sit anywhere and tell me that there is no solution. There is. And Asama Mackay, if you wrap your mind around it, you know it's possible. It can be done. It can easily be regulated. And even military, every team, you can assign a number of military or security personnel to them.
Yeah. And that will even give you the opportunity to hire more security personnel.
Security personnel. You can even add gold refinery, because at the end of the day, what they are doing, they are bringing out gold. You need a refinery, and that also will give you opportunity to employ people. We can, but greed will not allow us. I saw one person question no na or this.
Yes. Thomas, some unscrupulous kind of people, and then he makes some money that government gets nothing out of it. The rest of us, environment we belong to any idea. Somebody's there destroying it, and we get nothing out of it. They should just put a stop to that. Sometime for us to at least manage our river bodies right now.
Yes.
Somebody sent me a video of a river emptying into the sea, and the color of the sea at that estuary changed completely.
Yeah,
I think it was somewhere around the western Takoradi area. And if you know how long a river has to travel to get to the sea, and the river traveled all that far and still got to the sea brown, that shows you the level of distraction that is going on. It's totally terrible. And it's just to say, driving in this region, if you're driving out here left and right, they are busy doing an illegal mining, like busy doing illegal mining on the road.
As I say, they are not hiding, though. They are doing it in plain sight. There are secondary schools in the eastern region. School dino, people are doing. People who are doing are powerful people. You can't say anything. So it is what it is. But I think it is the level of hypocrisy. I don't know where the moral conscience of the society has gone to. I remember Rollins' time. People who tag Rollins said Rollins was evil. Me, I don't belong to that school of thought, because I like Rollins' kind of politics, that kind of leadership, that hot wine. I really like it. But those who hated him at the time, we saw pastors using their platforms. We saw people in the media constantly bashing and insulting Rollins on daily basis. And I'm saying that those people, where are they now? Even as recent as Mahama time, we all saw what happened. Today, the degradation has been taken to a different, and the economy. When was the last time what is a Ghana for a debate about the economy anymore? I don't know on radio. No, because we've all come to a consensus that the economy has crashed. The economy has been destroyed completely. So we've moved away from the economy. We are talking about Galamsey and other social issues. You see, that is how bad Akufo-Addo government is, and everybody has become dumb. Nobody want to talk about it, or because maybe sometimes it's because of this tribalism, because other people, they are from bush, so they are. You see, this kind of mentality, you can't grow a society with it. The level of impunity, the arrogance of power, and then I say for now, drive some of these recklessness. Now, you need inner motivation to do that. For instance, you come on radio, you make certain utterances. Everybody calling is worried about the kind of argument you're making, and that's a pronouncement that will make it. But on a daily basis, you come and you proudly continue on the same tangent. It means that you have inner motivation, either the owner or somebody has challenged.
There's some kind of motivation coming from somewhere.
Whatever happens, your position there, nobody can take it away from you. When they tell them your mind, you see that motivation, it gets to a type of intrinsic. One kasa, you take it from yourself, and it's the reason why we are here. But Akufo-Addo, the kind of pressure Mahama nyaye, Mahama anya half, but he's getting away with almost everything. Nobody's talking about it. Why? Because I don't know. It's so sad.
I think the one reason that I can point to was the media were on his side when he was at the opposition. And most of the media people actually stepped forward for him and did the work for him. And now, instead of them to take the L and say, you know what, we thought this guy was going to do what we thought he was going to do, but he totally did not. They are actually hiding, trying to justify some things that he's doing. And me, some of the journalists that I respected a lot growing up, they said, like, and I'll mention it. Kwame Sefakan was one that I respected them. Now he just disgusts me.
A lot of them have been consigned to the political dustbin.
Yeah, I think they've just sold their whole soul.
Yes,
and you know, back in the day, we needn't even come on YouTube to do anything because Kwame Sefakan.
Yeah, they are there.
After journalism school, yeah. So we had people like that.
Yes.
They will hold up the mantle for us.
Yeah.
Now we don't get those people to talk for us.
No.
It's a moon.
Yeah, it's about money. And America said, you see, one thing I have realized about life is that never make money a motivation and move into a leadership space. If money is your motivation and you move into a leadership space, you go there and get the money in abundance. And trust me, you won't care about anybody. That is the exact state Akufo-Addo finds himself in. This is a guy who fancy wanting to be president. Childhood fantasies and childhood dreams. Abamamano. But he never thought that the presidency comes with a responsibility. So he's just being president without responsibility. Because Nema he doesn't care. Because you see, sometimes one thing Mahama I want the side I say Akufo-Addo, there is something I call foolish belligerence. Oh yeah, dear Charlie, Adia we and Yaba can be Mahama will stop that thing and make sure that it doesn't continue. But these people, the more you talk about it, the more they repeat it in thousandfold. So a time will come, you become overwhelmed, and that thing they are supposed to stop. That thing that is something that Omunjano becomes a way of life, normal thing that everybody sees. And now this is the new movement. This is the new trend in town, and that abnormal thing become the new normal. They accept it. That is what is happening. The level of impunity, the disrespect they heap on people, and that kind of stuff. Sometimes, if you don't understand governance, if you don't understand leadership, if you don't understand politics, democracy, and won't study governance elsewhere, and to me, the comparative analysis, understand how leaders speak, how they behave, and this kind of way, you will be overwhelmed. And sometimes you will not even understand. You think that is okay. But people are more refined mind on the issues of politics, issues of governance, leadership. Are getting exposed to presidency elsewhere, via comparative analysis. You understand the modern actors of leadership, how our leadership as a tribal in this 21st century, how sentimental, how you should always be on the ready to move, kind of listen to people. Among for your position must always be navigated by the pulse of the country, sentiments being expressed by the people. No, this idea though. And then UK, as a prime minister, COVID aba, wako dinner and as a for pressure and as a for what reason coffee. And that never happened here. So I keep telling people. So
I think the only person that I've seen resign was one of President Mahama's
energy
minister for energy.
I respect him so much.
And the kind of respect I have for that man.
Yeah.
And he actually did the job, but the dates that he has faced, I think he missed it by a couple of months. And for that, he resigned.
Yes, that is leadership. You see, it reflects that there is some kind of mutual respect and some kind of intellectual kinship between you and the people. You understand? But when it turns out to be impunity, disrespect, and then as a former, they can go to hell. They can. So Ghana, I think that Ghana, we are in our lowest moments since the establishment of this country. The presidency is so low, so gullible, so like I don't know whether to use inconsequential.
Don't you think Akufo-Addo suffers from some kind of delusional disorder? Like he has some delusion of grandeur. So,
Grandeur, yeah. Oh, my
yeah,
God.
he's the most excellent.
Yeah, yes.
Because Mekai said, yes, or he need because said they should come and build a school, otherwise it's not going to do something.
Yeah,
and his response was so delusional. I say, now, or no, who does he think he is?
Yes, this is
no, Beshembra,
Amame. Yes.
Yes. And what I don't say, no, like this guy actually has some kind of delusion on this.
I think that
kind of mental illness going on.
Yes, we think alike. I think that you see, he has this messianic concept.
Right.
He has this God concept. Like this is a guy with a wishful thinking, wanted to be president since childhood. And he has been able to navigate the political storms. Now he's there. So he thinks he's all powerful. He's beyond reproach.
Yeah.
He's somebody, a king, a knight who has been forged out of fire. He's so indispensable. So you need, like we said, that delusion of grandeur at a very ground level. Sitting at a certain moon. So whenever you see him, you bow and sing hallelujah choruses.
Yeah, and I think it doesn't help because he has surrounded himself with the psychophants. And nobody dares tell him that, Nana, in fact, this is not happening. This doesn't make sense. This doesn't work. And so whatever small achievements he gets, they exaggerate it for him. And so he still sits on cloud nine and thinks, like you're saying before, he is our savior. And by now, Ghana say cry.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So he actually believes that he's doing the right thing.
Yes. And you see, one thing I keep telling people, they say, if you're a leader, it is your version kind of people and you attract to. Because a stupid leader will always surround around himself fools. That is a fact. And a wise leader will always attract wise people to himself. Very often why African leaders fail because they are not ready to accept criticism. Look me in the face and tell me what is wrong. If you are bold enough to confront them, to tell them what is wrong, they see you as an enemy. And the very people around them, because they don't think deep, they are there to satisfy their stomach because they want money. I don't want to say anything that will put me on or that will offend you so that I don't get my destiny, my cat, and so forth. So always we will praise you, sing hallelujah choruses to you so that we bow before the king. Even if you are naked, hey, you are clothed. That's exactly the kind of voice. So if you are not wise or you are not smart as president, make no mistake, you can never attract wise people to yourself. Even the few wise people who make your friends and their way into your enclave, the majority idiots will make sure they drive them out. So around the president, it turned out to be like a snake pit. Everybody is fighting for a territory. And when snakes are fighting for territory, it's dirty.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. So, and we are fighting for a territory in order to maybe find a space to please the king snake. So the young ones are fighting for territory so that they can secure a place for the king. So everybody will try. They play all sort of dirty game. That is exactly what has happened. I said this thing on TV. The Akufo-Addo's presidency is a snake pit. Everybody is fighting for territory because he's not in charge. He has never been in charge. He is not in control. He doesn't understand. He thinks he's some kind of a messiah, deluded, twisted mind. I don't know where that thing comes from. And this guy will sit there and say that he's better than Kwame Nkrumah. You must be crazy.
I don't even think he's better than any of those cool leaders. And
No.
This guy is the worst of the worst.
No.
Nobody seems to have the balls to tell him, say, dude, what you're doing is actually retrogressing the whole country.
Yeah.
And like you're saying, was surrounded, even the smartest people in his camp are just playing these tunes for him to keep him where he is, to keep him in that dream.
Yes.
So that he doesn't wake up to see what they are doing.
Yeah.
And they are raping and pillaging the country. And this guy is still in cloud nine, you know.
Yes. Because I can sit here and say authoritatively that there are many of the staff scandals the president directly but because of say what compromising at home and he's not waking up to this responsibility for now on you're ready to crack the whip on even a single person. Other people draw inspiration. Cecilia Dapa had $1 million under her bed. The president was bold enough to grant an interview, write a letter to my dear Cecilia. I know at the end of the day you will be cleared. How dare you? Even in a Bush republic, where people don't know anything about democracy, you can, as a president, you can preempt and about to begin investigation with such comments. You can't do that. But he said it. Eventually, dear Cecilia has been cleared.
Because he has forced the hands of all the investigators to make sure it goes the way the president says it's going to.
Yeah, because even if he doesn't say anything, this is the executive president of a country. He has spoken that at the end of the day, the woman will come out clean. You are a state institution. If you do anything contrary, it means you have embarrassed the president. So you have to do everything and whip yourself in line, making sure that the woman will be cleared. That is the enormity of power. And the executive president in our part of the world, you wield. So you don't just open your mouth and talk anyhow. You allow preliminary stage. We just allow the investigation. In the middle of the investigation, just enter and skew it at the blind side of the people. Let the investigation come out. People, we accept it, we don't accept it. That people will know, say, your involvement was a bit not clear to people behind the scene. You did, but in a plain public space, he's telling you he will come out clean. And indeed, he has come out clean.
So
it's sad.
I think let's try and end this. And maybe on Thursday we'll talk about the election.
Sure.
But for now, like, do you think with all me, I'm afraid that all the damage that has caused. And I mean, like, I think one of my biggest problems is that the people that actually kind of back that the president should be voted the first time, I have no problem. Because at that time, we thought we needed some kind of change. And this guy professed to us that, and he actually made speeches for us to feel like he was going to do something better than what Mama was doing. But for us, those people that voted him the second time, I think we are as delusional as he was, because he showed us his hand and we still made him president.
Yes.
My problem right now is that no matter SEC, all the problems we've caused, some of them are nearly irreversible.
Yeah.
The amount of debt he has plunged the country into is something that I don't think is going to take us 4 years or 8 years to dig ourselves out of it.
Yeah.
Do you think, sir, whoever wins this coming election is going to be able to do something remarkable? Like, he's going to do, even if Mahama wins, can he get any money from anywhere to continue doing what he was doing before we kicked him out?
That is why it will be tough. That one cannot be taken out. But you see, leadership, the kind of ingenuity as a leader you have can change the stakes. Yes, because that is why it says a leadership is a fine art. About the way you play your cards, the way you are able to create, because everything is at your disposal. Just leverage, create incentives. So if you are smart, you'll be able to create the needed incentives, drive investors in encourage people to bring money and stuff. So it depends on the kind of goals that you have. But these lofty promises, these lofty promises, is something that I'm a bit scared.
Yeah, I think the building of stadiums and those.
Yes, some are unnecessary. Some are very unnecessary. At this point in time, Ghanaians are so much frustrated about the fact that a certain deluded class of criminals under the guise of government are committed a certain heist against the country. Ghanaians want to make sure, say, these people are held responsible and accountable so that it will deter further engagement. So that in the future, nobody will think that the country is just free, you can just come, steal, get away, because you scratch my back, I scratch your back. If Mahama wins the election, that is the luxury he's never going to have. So he will be forced to act in that regard. Because one thing I have realized is that majority of the African leaders who have suffered this coup, pressure, and so forth, they are what 2 years. And then that kind of pressure, no yet demonstrate consistent demonstration. Tinubu, in his second year, you saw the pressure on him. Even after 1 year, if you go to Kenya, your friends Ruto, they had been in power for barely 2 years when the pressure started. Because when you are coming, the expectations are quite high. People want you to do something. So at a point in time, people become for, and I said, they are all cry, they nanka, they are all cry, no, they are yeah. Then you know, sir, you have exceeded your essence. And that point, you are a goner. People will come after you. So you might not want to do anything to be at the bad side of the people. That is why if Mahama wins tomorrow, he has no other option than to make sure, say, the most significant thing that Ghanaians want to be done at this point in time, so making sure that the people who put this country into this state of bankruptcy are made to account. Nobody is saying, say, go and withhold them, go and bundle them and throw them to prison. No, subject them to laws and make sure, say, they suffer the fate, if indeed, in some cannot again. Idea across the board, Obia can constitutional re-engineering. We need to retool our constitution because there are a significant portion of our constitution now, you know, say, relative to time, outlive in the essence and in the usefulness. They have no space. They don't in this modern terrain. So we need to revise the constitution and the size. Of course, surgical room, my size, you can't watch it. Now you cut those parts, now you frame, now you're modernizing, now you who say constitution, you know, reflect daily happenings and the course of our mind. And one crucial thing again, and also has to do with the emolument as Article 71 for say way for also generate a lot of anger and a lot of staff as a course. May this regional division Akufo-Addo Nyansa they are not creating region. Recently I went to Techiman. They say nothing. Even Oko baby ya hand dina GC the regional way team our minus sign boka panem faso be any the wire so. If it is possible, let us revert to our 10 regional way. Now making sure that we take development to these areas.
I think that is a lost cause now because we actually pulled to do that.
Yes, a lot.
We have to pull to reverse it. But just like you thought, I thought that was a totally useless endeavor. We just created more problems for ourselves.
Don't worry yourself. Decision, the end useless endeavor. Cathedral, I assume pool.
Oh, that cathedral thing is one of my top 10 lists.
Yes.
The fact that they even lied. Yes. The fact that they even lied. The fact that they lied said they weren't going to use public money. And they ended up using it. Somebody had to investigate to find out before they come out and tell the truth.
Yes.
Yeah, it's something that somebody has to take responsibility for and pay for it.
Yes, and I mean, say if President Mahama wins, some of my culture is not just kind of Oreta Akufo-Addo who spent the money. No. But the men of God who sat on the board, they knew where those monies were coming from. When some of us were on TV on daily basis advocating that this nonsense must stop. These people, as he said, they took Jesus Christ to school. Jesus is their whatever. They're just from as if that kind of arrogance. They told us that they are going to build that particular thing to shame some of us. Now, $58 million only created a pit. Every one of these men of God will have to answer.
Take some kind of responsibility.
They are just a bunch of cowards. You see, when the scandals came out, you realize that they were running away. I have resigned. These are cowards. They couldn't face us. They needed to apologize to Ghanaians that indeed what you said, we didn't see. Now we apologize. We are going. But none of them was able to apologize to Ghanaians. They just left. So every one of them must be held responsible and accountable because they are co-conspirators. I'm on mine aboard that particular account and they can't get away. Say yes, I am man going forward. A man for the business answer. We are man of God now. We don't have any experience because Obi Oha only accounting background, need anything about banking because we are made the money at time now to banking board. So even leadership, then as a forum crown, I know that they bank in a good. You saw what happened in the Otabel case and stuff.
Yeah. I think one of them is languishing.
Yes, you see, when the arrogance is too much, you feel all powerful. I say, I am a man of God with Jesus, with God, I can do all things, and that kind of.
With God, I can tell it to the accountant.
Yes, I can tell it to accountant. That kind of silly, primitive mentality now. And on your engineer, I work at an engineering board, so because I am a man of God who was share code. You see that kind of sick reality. We need to abandon those things and make these people face the law. So going forward, I think that the ground rules, will be set. We know where to step, where not to. And government, so it's not just about past government, though. How, your own people, because the Akufo-Addo government has been dirty. Because there are a lot of vultures around. Go to social media, go to various platforms. People are very critical. In the next government, they are going to be super vultures. So you got to be very careful.
Now we are all experienced.
Yes. In the
criticism government.
So people might think it is Akufo-Addo today because people hate him. I keep telling people,
no.
Why will I hate the president? I don't hate him.
I don't have any personal relationship with him.
No. One person over the years might draw some kind of motivation from his inspiration, Akufo-Addo, because when he started in summer man for Kamfano, president, but against all the odds, he has been able to become president. Unfortunately, a very unfortunate president, though, but he made it. So his courage, his resilience, that fortitude is something that inspired me a lot. You understand? So Obi anything against him, and we talk about it. It's issue based. That is why whenever I go on TV and people are talking about Akufo-Addo, I say no, I don't want to talk about his father because I get no business with his father. No, I have nothing to do with his family. It's about the issues. What his father did in the past, who did that, I don't care. I don't want to talk about those things. It's so a issue based or be any personal issue. Now, president, it was all I make papa and kabemede. Around the world every week, baby, and come to make shopping. I consist
by private jet. At least you get a lift to where you go.
Yes, I consist in buying Kamaya pre-order that. Oh, yeah. So we'll be on time, president. We just want Ghana to be good. That's all.
Okay, I think we've exhausted quite some time right now. Yeah. We're trying to talk about elections in Bayafan shit Thursday now.
Yeah, next week.
Next week. In shall reduce that.
All right.
So Ivan, thank you very much for making time for us.
You're welcome, my brother.
Let's continue with this trajectory. I think the more people talk about this, I am not focusing. Oh, we're more kind of inquisition, but we've seen changes.
Oh yeah.
Once we talk, and shout out to Sa for demonstration. I think the said there were just about 16 of them.
Yeah.
They went on a demonstration against Galamsey and Ra. And I think it's a good thing that we still have very, very, very patriotic people in the country.
Yeah.
So thank you. You're one of them. So
Thank you, my brother. And keep doing what you're doing. We are, it's a concerted effort. We need to put fingers together to ensure that we pull through. But this thing is not a single man's endeavor. It's a collective cause that we must all unite in purpose and then pull it. Because Ghana, trust me, will be our Sumbajono.
Yeah. We can all come back and talk about that and besides the NDC and special price. So yeah.